Hi guys, how are you today? Welcome to Via Frequency. I'm Olivia and I'm so grateful that you're joining me here today. Via Frequency is a channel where we explore the elevation and evolution of human consciousness, as well as come to a point where we can truly realize, recognize, and actualize our already innate wholeness so that we can better balance our humanity with our divinity and truly walk in that divinity while here on this 3D plane. This is basically a reminder, but also full permission, if you are questioning yourself at all, for you to set your boundaries. Strong energetic boundaries are so incredibly important for a healthy vibratory frequency, a healthy auric field, a healthy energy system, and a healthy electromagnetic being. Now, a lot of us on this spiritual path, or this path of ascending consciousness, and all of these catchphrasey sort of titles we give this journey and this path of really, self-mastery, coming into ourselves, walking this walk of expanding our consciousness. We tend to put a big focus on the concept of oneness, which is the ultimate truth of this existence and this reality that we live in. Yes, we are all cut from the same cloth. We all come from the same source. We are all so deeply connected. This is really important to understand, especially living in a society and in a 3D realm based upon duality. And especially in the current climate of the world today, with everything going on, everything is so polarized. Everything is so separated. All you have to do is look into the media or the news to see the constant attacks on certain groups, polarized groups, and whether it's politics, Republican, Democrat, or whether it's, looking at from a religious perspective, a moral perspective, even good and evil. We are constantly programmed and trained in terms of our brains to categorize people, situations, and things into their polar opposites and to judge. And when we come onto this spiritual path, we really gain this greater awareness. And if you've had any sort of experience with meditation, or you've had your enlightenment experience or anything like this, where you can kind of peer beyond the veil and see just how connected we truly are. And it becomes something that you feel, and you realize that nothing is truly separate from you. However, in this third dimension, in this existence that we're living in now, we are unique beings. We have these egos, we have this avatar, we have these bodies, these hard physical bodies that we are using to operate. These are a tool for us, and we shouldn't look at our egos and our bodies as a bad thing either. When we come on this spiritual path, we put so much focus on controlling the body, controlling the ego, or dissolving the ego. And yes, we are trying to unify these parts of ourselves and bring ourselves into inner unity so that we can see that reflection in the external as well. A lot of times we put so much focus on this element of oneness that we almost jump to the completely opposite polarity ourselves. We come from this world based on duality and separation, and then we jump into a spiritual path sometimes, and we fall into the trap of completely losing our boundaries here in the physical. When we don't have strong energetic boundaries here in this world, we run into really big problems really, really quick. I find that especially people who are empaths, I've always been a very sensitive person, carried that identity for a long time as an empath. And I am very empathic. I can feel things on a much deeper level. If you've tapped into your higher senses and you are tapped into the more energetic realm and the subtle energies of this space-time continuum that we're existing in, then it can be easy sometimes to not have those strong boundaries and to focus solely on being uber spiritual, when a really strong container is super important, especially on this path. We cannot expect to have healthy relationships. We cannot expect to have any sort of success, even abundance and prosperity, when we don't have strong boundaries for ourselves, when we're leaking energy. if we don't have strong boundaries, we're literally allowing anything to flow into us energetically, anything to pass through us and affect us, and we tend to attach to these things. Now, I am not one that really is a proponent of protecting your energy all the time, because I believe that if you have strong energetic boundaries, if you have strong belief systems and confidence in yourself, in your being, and in your own personal strength as your avatar here, then all of that sort of gets taken care of. You are protected. You're protected by your own frame, by your own container. Nothing can touch you if your frequency is in check and at a level where you don't feel vulnerable to everything. Just speaking energetically, if you are not maintaining a strong frame, a strong container, and strong boundaries in your life, whether it be with people, with situations, with things, and with your own thoughts and your thought processes, and not allowing the flow to happen, and you're getting really attached and triggered by things, or if you're feeling like everything is kind of sucking off of you and you feel like there's energy vampires everywhere, there is some imbalance in your frequency, some belief that is causing this siphoning of energy and causing you to be especially vulnerable. A lot of times people get on the spiritual path and then they feel that it's somehow wrong to assert their boundaries. It's somehow wrong to assert strength and to say no, to really have their own sense of self. And this goes into so many different issues and many things that go all the way back to childhood, identity, self-concept. It plays into all of these different things, but a lot of times, and I used to be in the same position, that's why I'm bringing this up today, I felt that it was somehow wrong or incorrect of me to have boundaries. I didn't think that it was acceptable, permissible, respectable to have a strong core. Now, as I've built my core more and more, and this is something that I continue to work on, I realize that energetic boundary that I'm setting, no matter who it is, whether it's family, whether it's friends, your kids, your pet, whatever it may be, your parents, your significant other, if you don't have a strong sense of self, you are going to be open to absolutely anything. And on a solely energetic level, you're going to be really highly susceptible to auric damage, chakra damage, tears in your auric field. So there's a couple different ways that you can approach this, and a couple ways that I recommend approaching this at the same time. I recommend approaching it from an energetic perspective so that you can get your energy in alignment. You can heal those tears energetically in your field and have the overall feeling of support, of strength, of a strong core. And simultaneously, while you're working on yourself energetically, which you can target through any type of energy work, any type of meditation, really learning how to do basic energy work on yourself in order to clear, release anything that you're carrying, have a very strong grounding into the core of the earth so that you're able to let go of things and things aren't just sticking to you and attached to you all the time, while simultaneously getting to the root of the beliefs that are causing you to have weak boundaries. And I'll just list a couple of examples of these types of beliefs. You may have a belief that you are unworthy, or that you are broken, or that there's something defective or wrong with you, and therefore you cannot be your own person and assert your own boundaries. You may feel undeserving. You may feel inferior, and therefore you're making up for that by trying to people please or leaking energy in order to try to keep the peace. You may feel uncomfortable with other people being uncomfortable, and that was a big thing for me. I had to really understand that if the people around me are uncomfortable, I don't have to jump in and fix this. I don't have to jump in and rectify the situation 24/7. No, I can let things be, and I can learn to sit with any discomfort going on around me and learn not to take that on myself, which is super, super key. You may have a lack of feeling of wholeness. You may feel very divided, and therefore your energetic boundaries have suffered. You may feel a lack of internal strength. You may have a belief that you're not enough. People don't respect your space. People don't respect or are ungrateful for who you are. Perhaps you believe you don't have your own identity. You may have a belief that you feel out of control, and therefore you have to compensate in another way, energetically. Whatever the core beliefs are that are hampering your ability to say no, to set your limits, assert your beliefs, to assert your authenticity, to live in your truth, to not compensate for everyone else or have to be in control of the situation, and have the ability to surrender sometimes to what is, yet still maintain your frame. If you can get to the bottom of those while simultaneously working from an energetic perspective, these two forms of alchemy sort of come together in this really beautiful synergy. And you'll see that little by little, you're feeling a lot stronger. You're feeling a lot more assertive. I can't even tell you how liberating and how freeing having strong energetic boundaries can be. It can change your entire life. Your health can improve. Your mental health can improve. Your physical health can improve. Your fatigue or tiredness or exhaustion. I mean, these are all symptoms, as well as many physical symptoms of doing too much or not being strong enough in yourself. It's really important to realize that it's about striking a balance. We're not trying to build a wall around us. Some of us have such strong walls around us. We're kind of at the other polarity. We have such strong walls and such strong boundaries that we can't let others in. And I guess that requires a separate video. But especially for my empaths out there, or people who find themselves fixing things or saying yes all the time, or unable to assert themselves, or unable to be who they are regardless of what others think, how others view you, really work on your boundaries. You have full permission to set boundaries. In fact, if you don't set boundaries, you're never going to feel free. You're never going to feel happy. You're never going to have that sovereignty that you seek and that you search for. Your space is your space, and you can have yourself and you can have others too. People don't have to sway themselves or change themselves to fit any given situation. We can coexist as who we are and still be open to others, and still synergize with others, and still be compatible with others. And it's about finding the people who are compatible to you, who respect these boundaries, and who you can do the same for in return. I'd love to expand upon this in a future video if this is a topic that interests you. I could say a lot more about this, so just let me know in the comments if that's something that you're interested in. Thank you so much. If it resonated with you, I trust that you'll tap on the like button, hit the subscribe and the little notification bell so that you can get updated on my upcoming videos. Until next time, I'm Olivia for Via Frequency, signing out. Set those boundaries.